All right. I think it's about time to get started. How about you, Ross?
I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, let's get started. Hello and welcome everyone to our workshop on rediscovering overlaminates for today's application. We're going to talk about laminates for windows, walls, floors, and even signage today. Ross, you want to go to the... And my name is Amanda Smith. I'm a product manager here at Mactac, and I've been at Mactac about 3 years. I just want to thank you guys again for joining us. Ross, you want to tell us about yourself?
Good afternoon, everybody, and good morning on the West Coast. My name is Ross Burnham. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager for Mactac, and I have been here for about 20 years now, working across many of Mactac's business units, including our graphics business, which is print media, overlaminates, mounting adhesives, colored vinyl, our sheets fed business for offset and digital sheet fed presses, roll label materials, as well as industrial tapes. This represents about $500 million in sales in North America annually, and we are very excited to be talking to you today about our overlaminate line. Mactac is part of the Lintec Corporation of Japan, which puts us into a category of being part of a $2 billion global pressure-sensitive company, and Amanda and I are happy to have you join us today. Amanda, let's go through the agenda.
Sure. There are many areas where pressure-sensitive overlaminate could help and add value to your project. Let's go through the agenda for today's workshop, and we're going to talk about the history of laminates and raw construction. We're also going to talk about applications and benefits of using the laminates. We'll also give you tools to pick the right product for your jobs. And finally, we'll talk new PermaGuard Shield and take a look at project ideas. All participants have been placed on mute. Please feel free to ask questions through the chat window, and we'll be happy to answer questions during the Q&A session at the end of the workshop.
Very good. A little bit of the history of overlaminates in the graphics community. Mactac started in the late 1950s, but in the 1970s and 80s, Mactac partnered up with Kodak, and we jointly worked together to create the original cold mounting technology that made overlaminating and mounting of large photos possible. Protecting images from sun fade helped photo labs across the country grow their business in the display, trade show, and retail market segments. Product innovations in laminates have continued to help print service providers meet the challenge of today's applications. Some of those innovations include the different finishes that are used, whether they're matte, luster, and gloss, or textured laminates that provide slip resistance or eliminate fingerprints on display panels in trade shows. There's also additional surface protection type films as functional, where they create antimicrobial, dry erase, or anti-graffiti characteristics. But before we start with some of the information on the overlaminates, let's just talk a little bit about some of the basics of the construction of a laminate. We call it a cold laminate since it is typically not used with heat, which would be typical with a thermal overlaminate film. These are cold roll laminators that are used, and there are three main components of the overlaminate that is included in pretty much all overlaminate constructions. You have the face, which a vinyl, a polyester, or a polypropylene is typically used. You've got adhesives, which most often are permanent, but some removable are available, and all have UV inhibitors in the adhesive to help prevent sun fade. There's also a release liner, which is a very important component because it protects the adhesive and keeps it smooth, ready to be adhered to the ink that will be underneath it. The release liner is removed during the lamination process and left behind, so it's not something you would see in the field. Amanda, you want to go through some of the applications?
Sure. Laminates are utilized in many wide format applications, from specialized installation of brick and block walls to everyday application of windows, walls, floors, and even signage, such as fleet graphics too. They all require quality overlaminate to help and protect, keep the image looking great for many years to come. What are the benefits to a laminate? What is the added value? We're going to start with longer life. The UV inhibitors in Mactac adhesive act like sunscreen to protect the ink from fading. This helps maintain the graphic, keep colors for the longer than just having the ink alone. Our adhesives work with all kinds of ink sets, solvent, eco solvent, latex, and even UV, doubling the life for the graphic. So just to kind of pause there, if you don't put a laminate on the covering those inks, a lot of times you'll have sun fade, you'll even have running of the graphic, running of those inks, which definitely doesn't add life to your graphic. It makes it shorter. Laminates can also provide protection from scuffs and abrasion and are easily cleaned to help keep graphics looking great. Custom finishes are available to help knock down reflections from lights and even add texture for anti-slip properties. Ross, I think you're up.
The benefits of laminates really also include how long does your image need to last? From short-term promotional to long-term use, indoor or outdoor, Canada or Southern Florida, location does matter. Typical outdoor ratings for laminates that you see from manufacturers are based on the central US location. For high sunlight locations, such as Arizona or Florida, you should expect to get less life out of the graphic. Mactac can provide a good, better, best option for your application. Overlaminates protect your customer's investment. From short-term promotional to 7-year durability, there are options to make your customers more competitive and profitable. Laminates act like sunscreen for your graphics. Wide format ink alone only lasts for a few years, unprotected. You can expect to double the life of your investment, 2 to 4 years plus, with a laminate. Laminates are designed to ensure that the image is undistorted, and with a matte finish, no light reflection is there to take away from the image that is being looked at.
Yeah, and we all need sun protection, so it's an important thing. Let's talk about unique overlaminates. Some of the most current innovations in laminate construction have been in the areas of antimicrobial, dry erase, and anti-graffiti films. Dry erase films let you turn any printed surface into a whiteboard. Print your permanent messaging on printed media, such as wording like today's menu or even the calendar year, and then laminate with dry erase film to the image so your end user can add notes as needed. I think I have a good example for this is in the Mactac corporate offices, we have the current 2021 calendar up in offices. We've been back in the office in a hybrid schedule, so people are using these on their walls. We've done this since we renovated the building, I want to say in 2019, 2020. They come down at the end of the year, people, and then we reapply the new one the new year. People add vacation schedules, launch dates. It's a really good use of your wall space for calendars. Let's talk about anti-graffiti films. Help protect the wall from window and signage graphics. With some mild cleaning agents, spray painted graphics can be made to look new again, saving money and time from having to repair or replace those graphics. You can also use the film on public bathroom mirrors to protect them from scratching. I mean, how often have you been into a mirror and somebody has just gone at it? So that could help protect those restaurant mirrors too. I bet you're also wondering about the cute dog pic in the corner. We will discuss more about antimicrobial films in a few minutes.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah, you're welcome.
The next topic we're going to go through is in regards to custom finishes. Mactac has developed many options for textured surfaces to meet the needs of today's display and floor graphic market segments. Textured surfaces work great in high traffic areas to hide the effects of fingerprints on the graphic. With trade shows coming back, this might be of interest to print service providers. Displays also have options for matte, luster, or gloss finishes. Another important innovation is that of textured laminates that are used to provide slip-resistant functionality. Not all textured laminates are the same, as some only work for dry indoor applications. Mactac has you covered with products that are rated for indoor and outdoor wet applications. A laminate can keep a longer-term floor graphic looking brand new, as it can be cleaned often with mild detergent and a soft brush. Always utilize a textured surface for floor graphics. There are now one-step print and apply textured graphics like Mactac's M.Dot Floor or Street Tracks products, but where long-term and cleanability is important, a two-step system utilizing a pressure-sensitive overlaminate is recommended.
Let's talk about choosing the right product. There are many different options when looking at overlaminates. We offer a broad range of laminates, good, better, and best category. Understanding the differences can help the print service providers save money and increase job profitability. Let's go through some of these differences and why you might consider one versus the other. Some questions to ask. How long do you need the graphic to last? Short term or long term? What are you sticking to? From wraps to A-frames, you need the laminate to match the job. In your good category, monomeric vinyl, I would suggest promotional signage such as A-frames. It keeps the graphic looking clean and better longer. These are for short-term outdoor durability and flat installations. Next, we have our better category, which is polymeric vinyl, where compound curves are not a concern, but the image needs to look great and have a long outdoor durability. This is a product we use is LUV, and what it does is it adheres to the UV ink without creating silvering. And the UV ink has some raised areas, and what you want is a laminate that will adhere to those raised areas and not distort the image in any way. And we've really developed that. That's why you want to invest in a better laminate, so you keep that image looking great longer. The best category for cast laminates, an example is brick and block walls. You need a laminate that's going to hug to those nooks and crannies of the material. It also helped during the demo at the end of the life of the graphic, so the vinyl will pull away in strips, not confetti. And the reason being is you're using a thin piece of vinyl, printed vinyl, and then you're going to add that laminate to protect the image and also help in installation and then the demo, because you can pull it off in strips. It'll make it a little bit thicker. And during installation, you add a bit of heat and it'll help conform to that complex curve like a car, or like we just said, the brick. Ross, what do you got going on? What are you going to tell us?
Next, we're going to talk about antimicrobial overlaminates, which is one of the newest innovations, which is including the introduction of antimicrobial overlaminates to the Mactac line. We've developed this line of products that can help eliminate the surface conditions that help microbes from growing. PermaGuard Shield products have been tested to be 99.9% effective in eliminating harmful microbes, molds, and funguses on surfaces in a 24-hour period. Print service providers are looking at this new technology to bring to their customers who are concerned with increased cleanliness and protection for their patrons. PermaGuard Shield is an economical solution for short-term graphics on walls, smart lockers, counters, and other high touch point areas, with short-term being 2 to 3 years. There are two platforms for PermaGuard Shield. The first one starting with a smooth, pressure-sensitive 3.2 mil matte vinyl that has a zinc-based biocide embedded into the film, with options for either a permanent or a removable adhesive. The permanent adhesive being utilized as an overlaminate on print media, the removable adhesive for direct surface protection applications. Mactac also offers a textured, non-PVC based material that has a silver-based biocide embedded into the film. Not only is this product antimicrobial, but it is also direct food contact rated, which gives it another great functionality for your customer base.
Mactac has a long history of working with our print customers to bring solutions and support business growth. Every year, we like to highlight several of our customers' projects in a Project Spotlight series. Let's take a look at a couple projects that have utilized Mactac's print media and laminates. First up is the customer is Repros in Cleveland, a printer in Cleveland, and the end user is the Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. The project was for the airport's doggy relief area. They have a small room inside the area for passengers' pets to relieve themselves, and the customer's primary concern was keeping the walls and the area clean and protected and kind of keep those smells down. Our solution, suggesting Rebel H, which adheres to zero VOC paint. As you know, that can be a top apply to keep on the wall, and Rebel H is definitely sticks right to those zero VOC paints. And then you can also use all the printers underneath, solvent, eco solvent, UV, and even screen print. And then we also suggested using our new PermaGuard shield. It's an economical laminate and it's embedded with a biocide to help prevent growth of microbes and eliminate odors. So right there, you have the perfect application all the way around. We have a very happy customer and end user, and heck, we even have even the animals are happy.
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah.
The next project we have is a wall mural outside a storefront in downtown Akron, Ohio, the home of Devo. This project was done by Central Graphics, which is a fantastic print supply provider out of Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, where the print media used was Rebel High Tech, which is, as Amanda mentioned, great for adhering to zero VOC painted drywall and walls, low surface energy plastics, and powder coated painted metals. This project also utilized Mactac's ColorGuard LUV, or laminate for UV inks. The benefits of the ColorGuard LUV is immediate wet out, whether you're using a solvent, eco solvent, latex, UV gel. The ColorGuard LUV wets out onto especially the UV inks and adheres fantastically to those. Different matte, luster, and gloss options are available for the finishes. You've got UV inhibitors in the adhesive to keep the sun from fading the ink. And there's little to no color shift in the ColorGuard, meaning that there is no need to adjust the profile during printing, and you've got a very low delta E for the project that you're working on. This has been a favorite for many, many customers for many years, and it's been proven to be a great product for us, and we'd like to share it with you. The next project was a food kiosk in Product Spotlight involving wrapping the kiosks and signs that offers transit riders and residents healthy food options where that's not traditionally available. The customer used, again, our Rebel 528 High-Tac, which is a great go-to multi-print media, can be printed on solvent, eco-solvent, latex, UV gel. But really, what the highlight here for overlaminates was the SAG 53 film that was utilized. SAG 53 is a hard-coated polyester that is utilized to protect flat images from spray paint and Sharpie pen markers. SAG, or sacrificial anti-graffiti films, are helping graphic users to get more life out of their investment. Spray paint and marker ink can be easily cleaned off the hard-coated polyester films. This will work to continue to look great for years, and the laminate works on all ink sets, including UV, like a champ.
Now, one of my favorite projects. It's a community-oriented arts event exhibit throughout the year, including art cars. It's a rolling art exhibit on commuter trains in partnership with the Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority. This application is a floor graphic, such as street wrap, laminated with our slip resistant, our PF series, on top of it. And as you can see, it's adhering great to that kind of rubber flooring. And then it's also still the image looks great, even though it has it textured on top of it. Ross, oh, thank you. You know, kind of lastly, we want to talk about additional resources. People, I'm sure you guys all have questions, and you know, great resource that everyone uses nowadays is YouTube. And we have a site, Mactac _NA, as you see there. And it has everything from surface prep to installation videos, just to, you know, share what we've got going on, and even new products. We have resources on our website to help you, from everything from ICC profiles to performance guides. And then we have a full dedicated sales team to help you navigate options that can help you be successful with your next project. Just give us a call, or even go to the website and request for a salesperson to talk to you. And
Very
finally, I just want to thank everyone for your time today. We do have some time for some questions, but first, if we've showed some product spotlights earlier in this video, and I would like you, if you guys have one that you'd like to share with us, feel free to email us, call the 1-800 number on their website. You can be connected to the product manager, myself, or even the corporate marketing manager, or even email straight from that site. And we'd love to hear from you. Love to hear about your projects. So without further ado, let me look at the chat window and see what kind of questions we got.
Very good. Looking forward to this. This is always my favorite part. Yeah.
It's how much does Ross know? The first question we have is, how long should I wait between printing and laminating?
Oh, that's a great question, especially when we're talking about laminates and in applications. So there's kind of a different answer to that based on what types of inks and printers you're utilizing for your project. Meaning that if you're using a solvent or eco-solvent ink, those solvents need to take more time to bleed off and get out of your image before you laminate. And we typically recommend 24 up to 48 hours, which is a function of how much of the saturation level you're utilizing for your image. Mactac recommends a maximum ink saturation of about 270%, but really, going by your graphic, if you've got a lot of dark, using a lot of black and very, very deep black, you're probably using a lot of solvent. And you really need to make sure that that is evaporated away before you laminate, or else you could possibly have problems. The problems you can typically get from laminating and embedding the solvent from the inks that are used is that trapped solvents will go through the image, through the print media, and into the adhesive. And once they start doing that, they will change the characteristics of the adhesive, and most likely, and from experience, not for the better. So make sure that you've got the solvent, eco-solvent images laid out, and making sure that there is a good airflow to get that solvent out of the image. Do not tightly roll it and put it into a corner and think that tomorrow it's going to be great. You really need to get the air into it and get those solvents out of it. Utilizing latex or UV, you typically don't have to wait as long, and from experience, you would typically know what you're looking for in that area. So again, depending on the type of ink you're using, especially if it's solvent or eco-solvent, and how dark the image is going to really dictate how long you should wait before you laminate.
Thanks, Ross. Thanks for answering that question. We have another question that came through the chat window. It states, is a cast film considered monomeric or polymeric?
The cast film would be considered polymeric, and it is basically made differently than a calendared film. So the differences between a cast and a calendared, and between a monomeric and a polymeric, there's vast chemical differences. But for a cast, you're basically pouring a liquid resin onto a casting sheet, getting it to the thickness that's desired, whether it's 1.5 mils, which is typical for the Mactac razor overlam, or 2 mils, which is typical for our Groove 929 Be Free, or our cast film for Rough Wrap, which is 2 mils. So very thin, very conformable, very long lasting. And then if you look at a calendared have the options of being either monomeric or polymeric. Monomeric films tend not to have as good a life expectancy and tend to maybe have histories of shrinking up a little bit more than a polymeric, which is a little bit more stable in the way it's made or designed. But with a calendared film, you're now looking at the PVC material being put together not as a liquid, but as more of a dough type substance, and then run through a series of calendar rolls to get it through to the type of thickness that is utilized in the wide format digital area, whether it's 6 mil like we have for our wall noodle or our Roodle wall graphic materials, or down to 3.5 mil or 4 mil for our Rebel materials. You really don't get anything too much thinner than that in a calendared. So the thinner materials are going to be your cast. Your calendared are going to be anywhere from 3.5 to 4 to 6, and then those can be either monomeric or polymeric. The polymeric ones are going to give you the longer life and the more stability in regards to shrinkage and better life expectancies.
Great. Thanks for answering that, Ross. I think we got time for maybe one more question.
Okay.
Suggestions for shipping laminated graphic. What are the best practices?
Best practice for that would be that before you decide to roll something up and get it out of your shop, let the adhesive on the laminate do its thing in setting up and making a really good bond with the ink set. That could be 4 to 6 hours. And then we would recommend that the graphic be rolled up no tighter than 6 inches in diameter. Do any tighter and you could do some damage and create some issues down the road. Roll your graphic image side out so you don't create any stress between the laminate and the printed media, so you don't get any tunneling or delamination. So again, image side out, 6-inch diameter minimum. And we would also suggest that you put the graphic in a bag and close it up to prevent any kind of contamination during traveling.
Great. Thanks for, that's a good one. Thanks for answering that.
You're welcome.
I would just like to thank everybody for joining us today. Look for more webinars in the future. I know that we're working on a product video, which we'll be happy to share with everyone. And I hope everybody has a great July 4th weekend. Ross?
Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. And as Amanda mentioned earlier, we have resources to help you navigate through all of the products that Mactac has for floor graphics, window graphics, wall graphics, signage, mounting adhesives. Let us help you with your next project. And also, I believe, Amanda, this webinar is being recorded and will be posted on the different website and networks so that you can refer to it back to it for additional information down the road.
Yeah, we'll definitely create an e-blast to send that out and post it on our YouTube page.
Fantastic. Thanks, Amanda. Great job.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Have a great day.